Look, so I'm Michael Osanloo, President and CEO of Portillo's. I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks for having me, Ron. Why is it a good time to have an IPO? I think if you are a company that is performing well, if you're a company with a great, vibrant culture, a great consumer following, I think it's the time for an IPO is kind of irrelevant if you're great at what you do. And I think that we are great at what we do. This is an amazing company. I'm privileged to be part of this, but we have unbelievable people in the front lines who just bust their butts every single day, taking great care of our guests. You know, we serve delicious, highly craveable food at a ridiculously sharp price point, right? The average person going to Portillo's spends $9.60 for delicious food served by great people in an inviting, warm atmosphere. For that company, it's always a good time for an IPO.
I was most startled by the number. I guess the average drive-through is like 4.9 million for a Portillo's unit.
Yeah, they're bust. We have, you know, in our drive-throughs, what's amazing is our drive-throughs are not like what most people expect or think of as a drive-through, right? So, because most people think of as a drive-through is you pull up, there's an order board, you order, maybe some AI interacts with you, you go to a window and pay another window and collect your food. That's not us, right? So when you go to Portillo's drive-through, there's 2 lanes of traffic. You have a human being come up to you and ask you what you want, and they help curate the menu. So if you order a beef sandwich, they're gonna say, would you like sweet or hot peppers? You know why? Because it tastes better. It's an amazing experience to get those peppers on your sandwich. If you don't order a chocolate cake, they're going to tell you, by the way, we make chocolate cake in-house every single day. And I will tell you, it's the best darn chocolate cake you're ever going to have, so you should try it. But a human being helps you and curates your order for you. They put a little sticker on your window. And by the way, they collect payment right there. So there's a mobile POS device that we collect payment. They put a sticker on your window and the 2 lanes will merge into one. And then food runners run your food out to you. So Ron, if you ordered your food and you're stuck behind someone who had a little bit more complicated order, they'll bring your food out to you. You pop into that second lane and then you can leave. You don't have to wait for everybody else in front of you. Our drive-throughs do so well because of the way they're set up and the guest engagement. And so I love our drive-throughs. And I actually think it's one of the best ways for a guest to experience a restaurant companies via the drive-through.
And you were going to open a 3-lane drive-through or had plans. Is that still on the boards?
Yes. So we have a restaurant opening in Joliet, Illinois in first quarter of 22. And that restaurant is a 3-lane drive-through only concept. There's no seating inside. It's meant to be a drive-through. We're making it a highly branded experience, right? So you're going to see the Portillo's team members wearing NASCAR-looking pit crew outfits. There'll be a car coming out of the bushes. We want it to be an exceptional experience, and we want it to reflect our brand well. But we also want to take advantage of just so much demand near that restaurant that we have other restaurants that are bursting at the seams. So we want to take a little bit of pressure off of those. And of course, we're going to learn a lot, right? We'll see how this performs. We'll understand the economics of a drive-through only restaurant, and we'll see if there's opportunities to put more of those in, whether we're fortressing in Chicago or infill strategy outside of Chicago.
Interestingly, in this, since 1963, when Portillo started, no restaurants have closed.
Not one restaurant. I know, it's crazy, right?
How do you...
I've been in the restaurant industry. I don't know of another concept that can say that.
And why is that? What has been the strategy that has made that such a success?
I think, you know, it's a great question. I think it's the same question when people say, why do you have such high AUVs? It comes down to just do the fundamentals really well, right? We have amazing people. And I think that's like important, right? Amazing people who are so engaged. We have delicious food. Our food is unbelievably tasty. It's craveable. Everything you get at Portillo's is made to order. And so that's the second step. It's a ridiculously low price point. The average person spends $9.60 at Portillo's, and then it's in a beautiful, engaging environment. If you do all that stuff well, you have lots of day parts, lots of occasions. We have tremendous transaction volume. That is the key to success. Amazing people serving delicious food at a low price point in a great environment. It's actually not that complicated.
You mentioned AUVs. They're very high. What are they?
Well, I mean, if you know, what we've shared with people is that our AUVs are right around 8.6 million per restaurant. It's a little bit higher in Chicagoland, a little bit lower outside Chicagoland, but no matter how you look at them, they're pretty impressive.
A decor package varies across the system. You have 67 units in 9 states, correct?
That's correct. Yes. Yes.
What can we anticipate for decor or atmosphere going forward?
So every one of our restaurants is cookie cutter in the sense that the kitchen layout is the exact same. The layout of the box exact same. We like the drive-through in a certain way. We've optimized the guts of the restaurant and how it operates, right? The motion, we want third-party delivery to park here, come in, get their food and get out. We have curbside that works really well. So we have built a restaurant that we think is ideal for where the puck is going in the restaurant industry. That said, we don't want to look like a Chicago restaurant that's popped into all these markets. We want the decor and the cosmetics to fit the local environment. So I'll give you a couple examples. We built a restaurant in Sterling Heights, Michigan that opened up earlier this year. It is a gorgeous restaurant. We call it our garage prototype. There's a Ford Model T hanging from the ceiling. There's a Chevy Corvette coming out of one of the walls. There's automotive iconography throughout the restaurant. It's an homage to the automotive industry, right? Why? Well, there's 3 automotive plants within 5 miles of our restaurant, right? It needs to fit the local environment. We opened a restaurant in Orlando, Florida, that is unlike any other restaurant we opened. It's still the diner concept, but it's got this aquamarine blue ceiling, a giant guitar in the ceiling with LED strings going across it. It is a fun, engaging environment with outdoor patios. It fits Orlando, Florida, right? We wouldn't build that in Chicago or other places. So we're going to build restaurants where the guts are all the same, but that the decor is an ideal representation of what the local environment is. And we try to customize the decor a little bit just for that restaurant. You know, I don't want to build a Portillo's restaurant that looks like every other. If you're in Orlando and you live near Lake Buena Vista, that's your restaurant and it's unique for you.
Your background before Portillo's, and how do you bring that experience to what you're doing now?
So my background before, I was CEO of PF Chang's before this. Before that, I was running the grocery business at Kraft Foods, and I did before that I did M&A and strategy at Kraft Foods. I've been a consultant at Bain. I have a checkered past, Ron, but I would tell you that every little, we all do, right? I've been a lawyer, I've done stuff. So I think that everything I've done in the past has actually gotten me to the point where I can be successful in this role. I am fundamentally, I believe in servant leadership, right? In a way, my job is really easy. I just have to take care of my team. I have to put them in a position to succeed and remove obstacles from them. They in turn need to be in a position where we put all of our frontline team members in a position to be successful. I deeply believe this, right? And I've learned this in the past. I've learned the importance of people and culture. And so I'm going to be an evangelist for our culture. I'm going to protect it, nurture it. I'm going to make sure that the people on the front line feel the love and support from the senior management team, right? If you go to one of our restaurants and you have a great experience, it's not because of me or our executive team. It's because of the person who smiled and took your order. It's because of the person who made your sandwich. It's the person at Expedite who pushed the sandwich with a fun rhyme. It's the person who made sure the dining room was clean and thanked you for visiting. Those people are the people that matter, and those people are the people that define our success.
Now that you're public, what do you see as the major challenges and the major benefits going forward?
I think the major challenge is to avoid being distracted, right? Because the truth is that The formula for our success is what I just described, and it's being maniacally focused on what got us here, right? Going public is not a destination. It's a first step in a journey. You know, for us, going public is great. I'm excited, but the next 10 to 12 quarters really matter. We want to be a great restaurant company, and that means meeting and beating our shareholders' expectations on a go-forward basis.
And the possible hurdles?
Distraction, Ron, right? Letting ourselves get distracted. I'm a huge believer in just do a couple things really, really well. Don't get distracted by all the other cha-cha-cha. Just do what you do and do it really well. I tell my team, like, we will celebrate tonight, will be fun. Tomorrow we're back at work. Because tomorrow is back to what got us here, which is just maniacally focusing on our teams and on execution.
You're at 67 units now. What do you anticipate for growth into 22 and 23?
Yeah, we've identified 7 restaurants for 22. We're going to open 2 in Arizona, 2 in Florida. We have 1 coming in Texas, which I'm really excited about, and then another restaurant in Michigan and Illinois. And then in 23, we're targeting 9 restaurants, and we feel really good about those.
And in those 2 years, Texas is a new market for you, correct?
Yes, it is.
Any other new markets planned?
Yeah, in 23, we're planning on going into Ohio. You know, it's part of that natural expansion across the Midwest is Ohio. And then Texas, I think, is, you know, I think I mentioned it, but it's the #1 place we ship our food to. There's a lot of latent demand for us in Texas.
You have a big shipping of food as part of your business plan. How has that helped you in planning expansion?
It's exactly as you might think, right? I think that the shipping business, apart from just being a great little business, is actually a source of insight as to where there's latent demand for us, right? So it has informed decisions like going to Arizona, going to Florida, going to Texas. Those are 3 of the most important shipping markets for us. And it won't be surprising when you think about the underlying intuition, right? You know, as a Chicago-based company, at some point, every Chicagoan finally says, I'm done with the Chicago winter. We tap out. And when you do that, you go to warm weather environments like Florida, Arizona, and Texas. So we think there's a relatively significant Chicago diaspora that is in those states. And so we think there's latent brand demand for us in those states.
And last question for you, more industry-wide. What do you see as the most exciting things on the horizon for the restaurant industry in general?
Look, I think it's going to be kind of a perverse, weird answer. I think that the last 18 months has been so tumultuous that it has forced us as an industry to get better, smarter, more agile in dealing with exogenous factors and how to take care of our team members. I see more and more restaurant companies that are doing a great job of taking care of people. And so I think that this it portends a renaissance for the restaurant industry over the next 4 or 5 years. Restaurant companies have gotten smarter and better, and I think we'll continue to perform exceptionally well over the next 5 years.